What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris with game number 3 between Absolute Legends on the Radiant once again, Rox.Kis on the Dire. We are going to see some rather peculiar picks. We do see Nyx Assassin as well as Keeper of the Light, both making it through the pool. Both teams prioritizing a whole lot more control, a whole lot more supporty heroes in favor of those two. And, well, at this point, I'm not even sure if they're going to get into the pool. I feel like for Rox.Kis, it would definitely be a good idea to pick up the Nyx or the Keeper, really. I mean, either of them. Absolute Legends, maybe not so much the Keeper. At this point, I feel like the Nyx would be a little bit more of an aggressive pick that would help out a lot more with what they have. But either way, those two heroes are not going to be in the first ban or pick phase, which is always surprising to see. Both teams like kind of agreeing that they're instead going to favor heroes that they could probably pick up otherwise. But let's go over what we have on the board so far. Shadow Demon going to be the first pickup of Absolute Legends, along with the Darkseer as well as the Lone Druid. So already they do have their hard lane hero all well said and done. Lone Druid can possibly go for the safe lane farm, but I think Absolute Legends are probably going to want to lane it some other way. I mean, Darkseer and Lone Druid both are heroes that typically do go towards the hard lane, but when there's two of them on the board, that means you can put one of them in the jungle, which I don't know who it's going to be. Probably the Darkseer, I would say, although it really doesn't matter all too much. Shadow Demon going to be the primary supporter for Absolute Legends should they pick up a different primary carry hero and really not have Lone Druid take on that one role, which normally Lone Druid does not take on that one role. He just gets gold and experience and through other means rather than just primarily farming and last hitting and being AFK for that first 20 minutes of the game and then busting out some big items. But the Shadow Demon as well as Darkseer will give Absolute Legends a good amount of defensive capabilities, and really, well, that's kind of matched by the Rox.Kis side, going with the Clockwork, Niche Prophet, as well as the Gyrocopter. The cogs are going to be very annoying for Absolute Legends to maneuver around, so they really do need that disruption to really keep their heroes safe. The Surge will definitely help against the Rox.Kis side if the AL heroes are being chased. But again, not so much if they are stuck within those cogs. So the cogs from the Clockwork always are going to be a large threat. And being picked up this early on in the game, Rox.Kis are going to guarantee themselves that hero, which is probably looking to go towards the hard lane. I know that Rox.Kis as a team, they do like to run Nature Prophet solo in the mid lane, and Absolute Legends might know that. They might want to put the Lone Druid or Darkseer in that mid lane to try to counter that off. But the Gyrocopter to finish off the Rox.Kis side, going for the one of each attribute lineup. They're going to have their hard carry all well set and done, which is why we see them banning out the hard carries in AL, banning out the different heroes. Keeper of the Light is going to be a ban out from them, so not going to see the old guy in this game. Also going to see the Tinker banned out from the last game as well. And if they're going to go for another mid ban, then I guess it's going to be Queen of Pain or maybe a Storm Spirit. But Rox.Kis going to ban out a couple of the really big carry heroes, Alchemist as well as the Juggernaut, two carry heroes that have a rather large early game impact, as well as the Phantom Lancer. So in case Absolute Legends want to go into the super late game, if the AL side did pick up the Phantom Lancer, then the Shadow Demon would mean that the siege potential is pretty much infinite from them. And with the Shadow Demon and Darkseer both on the AL side, that means there's no way for Rox.Kis to make illusions of the PL outside of a Morphling pickup. And that means really it's going to get a lot more difficult to deal with that PL. But the easiest way to deal with the PL is simply not to let him get into the pool. So with the final ban of the Bane, we're going to see what Rox.Kis want to pick up for their support cast. And Clockwork can run as a support hero, which is involves very smart and strategic use of the cogs to act as a very solid disable. If the Gyrocopter is close enough, the Rocket Barrage will fly through and do a lot of pain. And really, AL, they're going to be pretty much at the mercy of that. So if they go for something like a Vengeful Spirit, could be a good setup for that. The Bane has already been banned out, which is one of the more standard setups for the Clockwork. They're instead going to go for the Brewmaster first, so I guess that's going to be their solo mid hero, most likely, unless they want to do something weird with it. I guess Rox.Kis for their final pick, probably going to go for a VS or the Rubik. Either way, they will have a good amount of setup for that Clockwork. Lots of time for him to just waddle up and lay down those cogs so that the Gyrocopter can follow through with the amount of magic damage that he does bring to the table. Lina going to be the pickup for Absolute Legends one more time, and well, Lifestealer's not in the pool, so we'll see what AL want to do with this one. Once again, guys, this is the final game from the first round in the TI3 qualifiers. So winner of this one stays in the winners bracket. Loser drops down to losers bracket, and yes, that is pretty much it from this game. So, yeah, the Lina is going to be the pickup from Absolute Legends once again. We did see Miracle do a pretty impressive display of the Lina last side, and last time in this game number 2 on Rox.Kis, they are in fact going to go for the Rubik as their last pick, not the VS. So they will have that set up. The Cogs will be an effective tool combined with that telekinesis to disable an Absolute Legends hero for quite a while. And we're going to see what AL actually want to do with their last pickup. And what Rox.Kis have right now is a good amount of pushing with the Nature's Prophet, lots of global control. Really, it's their kind of team fight control that really takes the cake. Just having that Brewmaster, who is, obviously impossible to kill once he pops out that ultimate form. Having the Gyrocopter in the back behind the Clockwork Cogs, behind the Nature's Prophet Sprout, as well as the Treants, means that there's a lot of stuff between the Gyrocopter and the Absolute Legends side. And that's exactly what you want as a Gyrocopter. You want to be able to hit something so the Flat Cannon can hit everything with its million range cast. And Absolute Legends is going to go with the Slark once again. Worked well for them in game number 2. Why not go for it one more time? Miggle is going to be handling that hero, and most likely it is going to be a 1v1 matchup versus the Brewmaster, I want to say. In such a case, I think Miggle would probably want to get a little bit more Dark Pack, especially in this game as a whole. Dark Pack would probably help him a little bit more, at least 1 point, in the early stages. But Slark is going to be picked up, and well, versus the Brewmaster, I gotta hand it to the Brewmaster over the Omni Knight, just having that clap, which does in fact slow, so you could get a little bit of right-click harassment that way. And Brewmaster overall, I feel, does hold a lane a lot stronger than an Omni Knight does in a 1v1 solo mid situation. And well, Miggle still had the edge in that Omni Knight fight, so maybe he'll be at least breaking even versus the Brewmaster. But either way, he should have a decent time. On the Absolute Legends side, they're probably going to run they could run an aggressive Tri-Lane. Darkseer, Shadow Demon, Lina would be a kind of damage light lineup. I mean, even though the Lina is a support hero who typically does bring a lot of damage to the table, having the Darkseer with an Ion Shell isn't really a Gyrocopter. It's not really a Life Stealer. It's not really the damage that you really want to have in your aggressive Tri-Lane if you are going to be running that. But either way, AL their lanes are very secure. Let's just put it at that. They could run it in a multitude of different ways, but the ways that they do run it, if they do run in a tri-lane, it's going to have to be a very effective tri-lane if they actually want to get mileage out of it. So let's go over who's going to be playing what before we move any further. On the Rox.Kis side, we have Solo playing that Nature's Prophet. We have Dread on the Brewmaster. Yol's on the Clockwork. Biz is on the Gyrocopter, probably heading up north, I want to say. Fangscore is on the Rubik. Again, Rox.Kis also do have that kind of same lane flexibility. Mania on the AL side is going to be playing Darkseer. Miggle, once again, on that Slark Miracle. Again, on the Lina. Rise, again, on the Shadow Demon and Unicorn. Again, on the Lone Druid. Hey, if it's not broken, then don't bother fixing it. I mean, the only difference here is a Life Stealer as opposed to a Darkseer. Bear is going to be spotting out the Rox.Kis side. The Treant is going to be spotting out the Absolute Legends side, and both teams are going to back on out of here. But with the lane control, with the lane flexibility that these teams have, we're going to see what they actually want to do with it. Clockwork spending a lot of his own money in order to get these wards up, so I think it is going to be a support Clockwork. Dread on this bottom lane as well, joined by Vangscore, would be a very, very wonky tri-lane, generally with Brewmaster. Well, the reason why you see him in the solo mid position is so that he can get a level 6 as fast as possible. Tri-lane will not be too friendly to that, so we'll see what Dread wants to do. So far, I think Solo is looking to go towards the mid lane, and Biz going to look to Solo up top, perhaps 1v1 versus Mania. And in that case, Biz should have the edge there. 1 level of Rocket Barrage is more than enough to prevent Mania from actually doing any sort of creep cutting, so Mania probably will not have that available to him. Biz now actually finding a haste room, going to go straight for Mania, going to pop up the Rocket Barrage, do some pretty heavy damage to this Darkseer. This damage to Darkseer really can't mitigate. The creep wave is coming, however, so he should be fine. Yeah, Biz is not going to dive that. If he did dive it, the Rocket Barrage would not have done as much damage as it did. Darkseer would have been at least safe to not die. Whether or not he would have turned around and gotten a kill, that was kind of up in the air, but either way, it won't really be a question. Unicorn on spot lane is going to go toe-to-toe with Dread in this bottom lane, and we're actually going to see a little bit of early rotation. Miracle and Rise both smoked up, want to go for an early kill on Solo. And Nature's Prophet is such an easy hero to gank, especially if you put him in this mid lane. There's so many routes of attack, and looks like this path is going to be the path that they do choose to take, so we'll see if they can take out Solo. Miggle does have Pounce level 1, not the largest, not the most useful spell for damage, but it is still a good amount of disable. It is consistent on all levels. So we're going to be waiting for Rise to move in and Miracle to follow up on the LSA. Let's see if they can catch out Solo. Solo move north, summon up a couple trees, and AL going to abandon chase. They're going to instead go for top lane. Biz is a little bit more difficult target to catch because Rocket Barrage means that he could defend himself. But with the Creep Wave pushing, they might actually want to go for this one. Creep Wave is possibly going to spot out Rise. Oh, this is a bad timing for AL. They're completely spotted out. Mania's going to surge for. Are they actually going to dive this? This is, I want to say, this is very aggressive. This is almost suicidal from AL. Miracle just eating up the Creep Wave damage. Nature's Prophet thinking about teleporting in several times. Yoll's going to come with the cogs. LSI is going to land on Solo. Miracle going to try to get out of here. One hit, needs two more. One more hit onto Miracle will do him in, but he's going to make it out. Just barely surging him out. 19 HP. In the meantime, Rise, what the hell are you doing there, man? This is why I said it was suicide. Yoll's still going for the chase onto Miracle. The LSA is going to hold him out for just enough, and Mania there with the Ion Shell to ward away the rest of Rox.Kis, but I think Biz knows that where Rise is. Followed the path of the cut trees, and Rise is so dead right now. That was a little bit too aggressive. Yoll going to be there to catch him in the cogs, so Rise is going to go down, not lose much gold. Not lose any gold? Lose 30 gold. Big deal. That is going to force Solo out of the mid lane, but really, Vangscore is going to enjoy a little bit of experience that he ordinarily would not have gotten. And AL is just super aggressive. As soon as I saw the creep wave right here, as soon as I saw that, that should have been it. That should have been, we cannot go for Biz anymore. We have to fall back now. But going that far, Miracle, I mean, he lost like 400 HP to creeps alone. And when you're diving into a tier 1 tower, first of all, you want to be able to get the jump on him, and the jump was not had. Mania was unable to do that. Looks like they will get the jump on him this time. Disruption is there. LSA gonna land. Is there enough damage to bring down Biz? It looks like there should be enough. Telekinesis is gonna be there, but it's not gonna be enough. The right-click fireball from Miracle is gonna do the gyrocopter in. So AL, they finally get the kill that they really wanted to in the very beginning of this game, but it comes after the gyrocopters picked up first blood on the Shadow Demon. So that's going to mean an extra pair of boots for him, making it that much more difficult to kill off the gyrocopter in the future. And speaking of difficult to kill, Mania going to get launched right into the cogs. Rocket Barrage is there as well. Mania, I don't know how that relates to difficult to kill, but it definitely is a kill that is going the way of the gyrocopter. Second kill for him in 3 minutes in. Gyrocopter really getting a good start in this game despite his death. With 2 kills, you really cannot complain. We do see a secondary smoke now from AL. Solo going to feel pretty comfortable to walk his way up, and it's completely spotted out. Slark is around with the illusion rune, and I think if Solo passes this line, then he's going to be dead. Don't go up there, Solo. Don't go up there. He knows that their supports are missing, and yeah, this time AL, I mean, they're spotted out by the creeps, and they decide to fall back, which is what they should have done, by the way, on the top lane. This time they're not going to dive the mid lane. Who wouldn't know? Who knew? Take a look at the final lane. We do see Unicorn 8 for 3 versus Dreads 19 for 10. Unicorn getting really out CS'd here. I think it might be because of the Drunken Haze, but either way, Unicorn is not doing fantastically on this lane, missing a lot of CS, which, I mean, he really should not be missing this much CS, and Dread shouldn't be getting this much CS. You should be able to last it decently versus the Brewmaster, despite the fact that you are down on the base damage. You have 2 things, and together that has enough base damage to get pretty much every last hit, or should be able to get every last hit over Dread. I can understand the Drunken Haze, which does add that missed chance if you put that on the bear. Then it's really an unreliable last hitting tool. But still, I feel like Unicorn should be getting more out of this lane, and really, he's not quite there. And fortunately enough, Slark is doing rather decently on this middle lane, but Solo, yeah, really having a tough time in that mid lane. Actually going to abandon ship. He's not really getting pressured too hard, still getting a little bit of levels, still getting a little bit of experience from that mid lane, but I suppose it's just the rising levels of the Slark that's really pressuring that Nature's Prophet. He doesn't want to be around once Miggle hits that level 6, because then the aggression is going to turn on, and really, from that point, there's no way of turning it off. Once he can get that Shadow Dance, he's going to be endlessly aggressive, which is pretty much what we saw in the last game. Bottle being picked up as well. So now Slark has hit that level 6 mark. He could be very dangerous now, especially with Rise and Mania, who has actually abandoned that top lane. He and Rise are going to be a very effective ganking combination. If you surge in the Shadow Demon, it could be an insta-kill. Yoll is here, going to get instantly lashed up. The cogs are there, however, the curse is going to land onto Yoll. Lift up onto Miggle, Disruption going to hold him out. However, the cogs are still alive, and Yoll looks like he's going to walk on out of here. Miggle unable to seal the deal unless has a surge on him, looking for a pounce. He's going to charge up the Dark Pact. Yoll is going to drop to the Ion Shell. Miggle just jump out of there. Oh, Roshan, one hit, no bash. Miggle, you lucky devil, you. Slark gonna laugh his way out of there, and he's gonna survive. The Shadow Dance gonna keep him up back at full HP in no time, and even might get the 6-minute rune in the bottom lane if he's very lucky, which he is not very lucky. It's gonna be on the top lane. Illusion rune, not too useful there. but it is a kill going the way of Slark, and really he was definitely a close shave, but hell, he got out of there, and he's going to be at full HP in no time, and possibly looking towards the top lane where Biz has been farming his heart out for this entire time. No one has been up there to contest his farm. Darkseer's left very, very early on in this game. And even if the Darkseer was here, Biz would have been relatively free to just last hit that lane as easily as he would want to. Miguel still in this mid lane. Could possibly look for Yol. I feel like he could have almost picked off the Clockwork by himself, and oh, he's looking for it. Looking for opportunities there, especially if he has an illusion rune, so that the battery assault doesn't focus 100% on the fish. Goes on to those illusions. That would help Yol survive. That would help Miguel incredibly well in killing Yol. And he's actually going to go for Dread right away. Does still have the Shadow Dance, however he's low on mana. Just going to poke and prod at Dread. They both actually, there's no bottle up on the Brewmaster. He's gone straight for Arcane Boots. Now spamming off that Drunken Haze. 55 mischance. It's not really what you want. It's going to make it very difficult for Miguel to get those last hits. Should have gotten that one. Did not get that one. Very, very Troll Warlord-esque. The old Troll used to have a skill called Blind, which would pretty much just be this. Just mischance. It would be like, what, 60-70% mischance at level 4? It would be horribly annoying to play against. And like if you were the Troll and you were maxed out Blind, you wouldn't feel like you had a huge impact. But if you're playing against that, oh, you know that you're doing, you know it's painful. It's very, very harsh. Dread is gonna get leapt upon, gonna get killed by Rise, gonna land the curse on him. Miguel opening that up with the pounce, which is such a spammable skill. 8 seconds for very high damage. Mania also gonna drop in the top lane. Guess we just call down used after Bank score. No, Bank score actually didn't set up anything for that, so I guess Biz doing most of the heavy lifting. But it is 1-for-1 overall. Mania is going to go for Soul Ring, which he does have enough gold to finish up now, so we can start sending Ion Shells down the lane. But 2 deaths really going to slow down any sort of farm this Darkseer is going to pick up, and it's going to make it difficult for him to recover in this lane. But hell, AL, they're still doing decently. They still do have to worry about farm Gyrocopter, who by farmed I mean incredibly far. Oh, Dread. Dread is actually not going to get chased. I feel like AL could have taken that kill. They're going to let him walk away, however, and just get Miguel even more farm. Has a haste rune, possibly would look towards mid lane, but Yolo's here to support. I don't think they could get the kill on Dread. Well, especially if you miss. Cogs are going to go up. Miguel going to burn a little bit of mana that way, but no harm, no foul, I guess. Actually, that was like nowhere close to being anywhere near that Brewmaster, but hell, who am I to judge? Miguel did an impressive Slark display last game. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Meantime, bot lane, the Spirit Bear has forced out the Brewmaster quite a while ago. That means Unicorn is going to have a little bit of time to recover. 46 CS. That's a little bit more of what I want to see from a lone Druid. Now starting to push the Tier 2 tower. Has the phase boots as well, so whoever is going to join this lane is going to be forced out by a very, very quick Spirit Bear. And Dread, although he probably isn't going to die, he does have the Primal Split, he still does have to be very, very careful to not get ganked by one too many Absolute Legends heroes. And AO, by the way, have pretty much abandoned the top lane. They're going to sacrifice the top lane up to Biz. So he's going to have all the free farm in the world. Has already completed phase boots as well as drums. So he's going to be going for the very movement speed heavy build. Going to be on roller skates this entire game. Can really help him keep up with the fast heroes of the Slark, the fast heroes of the anyone who gets surged. So we could actually do the damage, but the only problem with that is that you lack the early game damage. You will rely a lot on your Rocket Barrage and really keeping up with your opponents, but hell, you will get enough so you could actually function. And if he could get a couple of early kills out of it, then he should be fine to move forward with a couple more heavy hitting items. Rise is going to run into Yol, going to fight each other for the double damage rune. Rise can land the curse as well as an LSA, but here comes Solo, going to go right onto Rise. Lina, it does have enough damage to kill off the Clockwork by herself. Miracle is going to drop. Here comes Slark. Who does he want to go for? Wants to go for Solo again. Tether him up. Double damage rune is still outside of reach. Miracle is going to actually give that one up to Slark. This is double damage. Slark right now, he's dangerous. He's pissed. He wants Biz, or at least the Brewmaster is going to return to his real form. The Missile is going to hit onto Miguel. It's going to run out of time, though. Now Dread going to get lashed up. He's going to die as well to the DD Slark Bank Story and teleport himself in. But AL only lose 1 in exchange for 2. Burning out the Brewmaster ultimate as well. As AL taking very good engagement. Slark coming in pretty much at the nick of time, and well, Shadow Demon somehow staying alive through that Brewmaster split. Kind of surprising to see that happen ever. But AL just having more heroes there. I mean, the Rox.Kis side couldn't really compete with Miguel, who was constantly sniping out one after another. This time going for maxed out Dark Pact instead of the more heavy points into Essence Shift. So he's doing some pretty sizable damage, especially since he is getting a lot of bottle charges from this rune control. Having so much movement speed from the Shadow Dance makes it very difficult to outrace a Slark for those runes, especially when the Slark has this much ward coverage. He's always going to see what runes are available and going to see your movement towards them as well. Slark, once again, being a pretty dangerous force for the Absolute Legends side. We'll see if Rox.Kis can recover from this. They definitely do have the heroes to, really take it to the Slark, burst them down, especially within the duration of one single telekinesis. But Miggle is so hard to lock down with that Dark Pact. Missile's going to hit him, which could open up an opportunity for Rox.Kis. They are going to go for it. Actually, the Dark Pact, though, going to deny any attempt for Rox.Kis to do so. And in the meantime, Miracle going to go toe-to-toe with Banks. We're going to drop down to the low ground. Laguna Blade going to fly through. One more Fireball. Not going to kill off the Rubik. 1 point in no field. Saving that Rubik. If he didn't have that, he would have definitely been dead. But he is going to walk away from there with his life, drawing out the Laguna Blade. Going to take a long trip to the fountain. But in the meantime, the rest of his team going to push up the top lane. Mania going to take a missile right off the bat, and he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. If this missile hits, he's going to be in danger. Black Cannon is there, and the missile is going to hit him. Looks like there's nothing they can do about that. The tower is slowly getting dropped down. Fortification already being used. Miggle going to go straight to the front lines, looking for denied. Calldown's going to be there. Slark actually gets the tower denied. Miggle going to take 2 missiles, leap out of the second one, actually. Mania's going to surge him as well. In the meantime, Unicorn's bottom lane forcing out this tower. Not bringing it into deny range, however. So AL, they get rid of their tower. Or I guess they lose their tower. But they deny it. So it really couldn't be... It could have been a lot worse for AL, considering the amount of heroes on that top lane. All the while, Unicorn still getting his farm, is almost at that armlet mark. Just needs a little bit more. Just needs about 800 more gold, and he will have that armlet completed. So that means that Lone Druid, who's been left alone pretty much for 12 minutes, 13 minutes so far, going to be just fine. Now, Miggle going to look for Biz. Movement speed or not, you cannot really save yourself from the Slark unless he misses a pounce. Biz still getting chased down. There's a telekinesis onto Miggle. The burst damage there with the Rocket Barrage. The Dark Pact will not save him from that burst damage. Now, Mania on the run should be fine unless he has a hook shot, which he does not. Mania's going to be just fine to walk on out here, even though Rox is still going. Oh, wow. Rocket Barrage keeping the vision, actually, for the Nature's Prophet ultimate bounce through. Mania drops as well. AL biting a little bit more than they could chew, looking for a retaliation kill onto Solo. Orb of Venom slow, looking for an entangle, Should have entangled by now, but he's not going to get it. What percentage? 20%. I thought it was 25% chance for some reason. Either way, I guess it would have been, if he hit him 5 times, it would have meant he would probably expect to get 1 entangle. But unfortunately, that's sometimes how the Lone Druid cookie crumbles. You hit someone, you get a first hit entangle, and you don't get a kill. And when you could get a kill, if you get a first hit entangle, you never get that first hit entangle. So, the life of a Lone Druid is an unlucky one, unless you're an Admiral Bulldog. In which case, every single hit when the spell's on cooldown is an entangle, and you kill everyone. Really, really helps to be Admiral Bulldog. So, in your Lone Druid games, I recommend you be Admiral Bulldog. It comes with my highest recommendations. Take a quick look at how the golden experience is flowing. 1500 in favor of Rox.Kis. Isn't too much for this point in the game. It's definitely not something that AL cannot recover from, especially with the experience being pretty much the exact same in favor of AL. So the numbers are fairly even for this stage of the game. We can get this game underway once again. We see 3 from AL positioned in this mid lane. Really, I mean, if Rox.Kis could just get Gyrocopter's safe farm, they should be fine. I'm not sure if Slark could out-carry a Gyrocopter. It might be a little bit difficult for the Slark, but Gyrocopter doesn't really have too much 1v1 potential unless he's alone with you in the Rocket Barrage. Most of his damage is focused through the entirety of everyone. That's what Fly Cannon does. It's what lets Gyrocopter be an effective carry, especially when compared to the likes of Lone Druid. So I'm sure if Rox.Kis get enough safe farm, then they should have Biz to really just carry them through the late game. However, AL, they're going to try to stack up Miggle as much as they can, and they do also have the Lone Druid. So I don't know if who's going to actually, I don't know who this is going to favor in the long run. I guess the wall is going to really help Darkseer out and AL out as a whole. But then Rox.Kis in the late game will have the cogs, will have the initiation power of the Clockwork, whereas for AL, the only real initiation they have is a surged up Shadow Demon, and that kind of hopes that the enemies are out of position. I mean, Rox.Kis, they'll have the Brewmaster, they'll have the hookshot, they'll have so much teleportation as well. They'll have everything, and they're going to use that everything to push down this bottom tier 1 tower. Missile gonna fly through, will not make it to its destination. So the tower looks to be in a little bit of trouble. This tower is gonna drop despite the Dragon Slave from Miracle. Hook shot, ooh, that would have hit. That definitely would have hit, but it was not long enough. So in the meantime, Mania creep cutting this mid lane, does have a rocket flying after him. Let's see if Biz is actually gonna chase this one down. Rocket gonna fly and, well, is not going to do it. Top lane also getting pushed out, but the tower is not going to drop either. Miggle on this top lane, possibly looking for a kill onto Dread. He will be unable to capture it, although the person in trouble is going to be Mania. Sprout is there. A Soul teleports in. Instantly, the vacuum destroys those trees. So Mania is going to get out of there alive, and Soul is going to summon some treants to get beaten on by a little bit by those golems. But Miggle, yeah, he's not going to get a kill onto Dread, unless Dread gets way too greedy and decides to hold on to his Primal Split. Miggle's actually going to circle around looking for a kill onto Dread. A pounce to a Dark Pact, if he times it correctly, will do enough damage to instantly kill off this Brewmaster through the split. And Miggle's going to go for it. He's actually going to catch Vangscore, which means that Vangscore is going to be the one to die. Definitely not what Miggle expected to find when he threw his net out like that, but he's instead possibly going to go for Dread now. He does have support coming in the form of Miracle and Rise, but Dread, we saw this before at level 1. Dread, just pop off your ultimate. He's going to wait for the pounce of it. Oh, there you go. No chances are being taken. Miggle is going to jump on out of there. Should be just fine. Miracle, maybe not so much. Missile is going to land. Number 1. The second one going to land. It's going to be close. He's going to slip away, but just one more click from Biz. There it goes. In the meantime, Primal Spirit still chasing down Miggle. It's Sprout not going to hold out that Slark. Not a chance in the world. Solo's still chasing, but he's not going to find anyone, and it is going to be the Lina dropping in exchange for Vangscore, but it's also the Brewmaster ultimate down for quite a long while, and that's a lot of time for AL to not worry about that really devastating ultimate. The mech up on the Darks here. Their team fight now, or at least for a short period of time before that Brewmaster fight, before that Brewmaster ultimate is back up, is a lot stronger for the Absolute Legend side. We're going to try to take down this tower, but it is now in deny range, and Vangscore even getting picked up, thrown down. Mania does have the vacuum once again, so Sprout won't be able to hold him. Vangscore actually stole the vacuum, pulling Mania back down, but there's no more mana. But here comes Yol. Who needs mana? Actually, no, you do need mana. Clockwork, you need mana. You have no mana. He had just enough mana for the cogs, but Missile's going to fly onto Mania. Ooh, the Fool's even getting in on a little bit of this. Missile's not going to hit him. And Rox.Kis choked for mana. If any of those heroes had more mana, that would have been a dead Darkseer, but unfortunately they didn't have nearly enough, and that's going to let the Darkseer escape at just a sliver of HP. Man, I mean, Clockwork got a good hookshot in just when we thought that it couldn't result in a kill because everyone was out of mana. I mean, Rubik was out of mana. A simple Fade Bolt would have been the death of the Darkseer. And then Clockwork comes in for cogs, then there's no mana. Or he's like, 10 mana short or something like that. I don't know if it was a Magic Stick charge, but either way, the Clockwork was out of mana when he really needed it. So, kind of unfortunate from Rox.Kis, not really having the numbers favor them. And speaking of unfortunate, we're going to see the Nature Prophet possibly once again getting killed off, although Miggle's actually just going to head up towards the top lane with the rest of his team. They want this tier 1 top tower, and they should be able to get it relatively easily. Brewmaster ult not up for another minute, and the AL, I'm sure they are aware of this. They're going to go for this tower. Miggle going to leap forward. Vangscore latching him up straight out of midair. Vacuum's going to pull 2 back, but that's not going to really result in much. Surge out on out. Vacuum back is Mania. Power and the hookshot actually latched on something friendly. So yeah, the Clockwork not going to have that spell for this fight. And Rise on the front line, still Treants doing a little bit of poking damage. Mania waiting for his mech to be on cooldown. Solo is revealed because of that Sentry Ward. Yol going to pop off some cogs, and there's the mostly zoning in the call down. Biz though in a little bit of trouble. Miggle still being such a huge threat. Just having his presence there with the Ion Shell is such a great combo for a Slark. You can jump right in. Don't wait till Dark Pact will, I'm pretty sure, get rid of that Ion Shell. But either way, lots of ultimates were burned for Rox.Kis. However, that was all in attempts to burn time for the Brewmaster ultimate to get back up, and it has gone up. AL have not spent anything in this fight thus far, and they will slowly siege down this tower. Bear on the front lines will not bring the tower to deny range, will actually drop from this. Does Unicorn have a resummon? You bet he does. Everyone from AL going to run on back. Hookshot not available. No, not enough mana. It's the kind of problem that's been cursing Yol for the entirety of this game. And AL do not get the tower that they want, and they actually might even be in danger of losing a tower. Treants have been summoned. Rubik has so much movement control from the vacuum as well as the telekinesis. And Dread has his ultimate. Call down is available. Hookshot is available. Miggle's gotta watch out. Hookshot. Yol thinking about it. It's really hard to get it on this clockwork. Hook shot in. It's going to catch onto Rise. Rise in a lot of trouble. Calldown's going to come, but he's going to actually dodge the clap because of that disruption. The split is there. Laguna Blade already onto Yol. He's going to drop first. Does have the curse on him. Miggle, trapped in the Sprout, is going to drop down to the Brewmaster. However, he's going to buy back instantly. Biz going to get bowled over by that Dragon Slave. Miracle on the run is going to get dropped to a boulder. Bang score. Getting chased by a bear. He's going to die as well. And so far, AL getting kill after kill after kill. Dread's ultimate now has timed out. He's going to get burned down by the Ion Shell. And with just one buyback from the Absolute Legend side, I believe only one buyback from the AL side, Rox is going to lose a fight in a devastating manner. Dropping 4 in exchange for 2. 2 and a buyback, so I guess kind of 2.5. But wow, that disruption from Rise was huge. I mean, he survived the clap, and then Brewmaster initiated with the clap split. Clap obviously missed, so I guess just initiation with the split. Brewmaster, generally when you want to use Primal Split, you go right on top of your target. You blink in, clap them sometimes if you want to, or just blink in, split right on top of someone. So the fire damage aspect, the right-click damage from your aspects is right there. But instead the cogs were there, and Brewmaster had to wait that much longer for his aspects to actually get out of those cogs. All the while, Lina was devastating Yol with her Laguna Blade and Dragon Slave combo, killing off Biz, who was entangled several times by Unicorn. All the spells got out from AL, even though Miggle did get rooted because of the Sprout. In the end, he was the one taking all the damage, and really, if he's the one taking all the damage, that means the Lone Druid has that much more time to do whatever the hell he wants, and in this case, it was kill all of Rox.Kis is what he wanted to do. Gonna give him enough money to buy almost his entire MKB. So any sort of Drunken Haze not really going to be effective on the Spirit Bear, who will be able to hit things all the time. 11-9 is the score, and that last fight going to bring this gold earned advantage straight into AL's hands. Not by much, but at least get rid of the advantage that Rox.Kis had, an experience advantage going to be led in favor of AL as well. So Rox.Kis, I mean, the fight definitely didn't go as well for them as it really should have. Gyrocopter, if he had a BKB, that fight would have been incredibly different because he took so much magic damage. That Entangle, such a pain for him, and really keeping him away from everything to hit anything with a flat cannon. And then Lina also dishing the damage from her spells as well, even though she's not a huge level. Still did a lot of damage, and even though Yo was the one to take the Laguna Blade, Biz still took a lot of magic damage from the constant Dragon Slaves that were flying out. BKB definitely going to help mitigate that fact, and he will have it flown out to him right away after clearing off that ancient stack. So expect to see a couple different fights in the future. Rox.Kis with that BKB will be so much stronger with the Gyrocopter, who will actually be able to wander into the middle of the fight and not worry about anything. Slark, though, going for the exact same thing. Last time it was the Sprout that ultimately led to his demise, but getting the BKB means that you won't have to worry about the hookshot cogs from the clockwork. You can just leap right out of them, won't take the pushback. You don't have to worry about that telekinesis or the fade bolt, not the call down either. So a lot of magic damage being mitigated, though really a lot of the control from Rox.Kis will still flow through. Slark doesn't really care about control. That's what Dark Pact is for, right? That's why he takes a missile straight to the face, because he's not afraid of being crowd controlled. So AL just farming up. Mania's actually picked up a Force Staff, and I don't think last fight he dropped the wall, but this might be an opportunity for them. AL, are they aware that Rox.Kis are going for this Roshan? I don't think they are, although everyone from Rox.Kis is missing on the map, so I feel like, well, tactical pause. Here we go. Roshan at about half HP, and Rox.Kis doing very high amounts of damage to that with a Treant, so they're doing it very quickly, very safely as well, and Absolute Legends Unicorn is a little bit too far away to actually kill this, or to actually crash this fight. So I'm not sure if AL can get in here in time to actually slow down the Rox.Kis side enough. We'll see though. We'll see eventually. Okay, maybe not. So, item check, I suppose. That is not the item check. That is not the item check button. This is the item check button. Force Staff, BKB. Yeah, we do have a Staff of Wizardry being worked on by Miracle. Force Staff will help his allies if they are caught in a Sprout, caught in Cogs, something like that. Same exact thing coming from Rise and Unicorn. What does he have, actually? Where's your bear, boy? There you go. Almost an MKB. It's very, very close to it. Shadow Blade being picked up by Solo, so we can do a lot of right-click damage. As well as he's going for that Hex as well. Dread had the Blink Dagger for quite a while, BKB on Biz, and really nothing on these supports from the Rox.Kis side. They're hurting on farm, they're hurting on the levels as well. Let's just speed on through this pause. We're not interested in this. I'm running out of water. If this is going to be any longer, I think I might cut this and yeah, we're going to cut this, and then we are going to resume right back when the game resumes. Alright, we're back in. Rox.Kis going to try to go for a Sean. I mean, they said that, look at this, 30 minutes to go to a net cafe to try to fix the lag. So, Miggle's really having some troubles, and really definitely not going to help Rox.Kis' momentum in this game, but in the end they do score the Roshan. That's a double life for Biz, so it's going to be that much harder to bring down. Combined with the BKB means that AL are going to have to go through this gyrocopter twice, and that's a tall order. I guess they can nail him down once they land a Soul Catcher, Disruption, Laguna Blade on him, and then just follow up with Slark. But still, that's going to be a very, very difficult thing for AL to accomplish, but they're not really scared. Miggle going to reveal the fact that he is revealed from the Nature Prophet ultimate. And how was he revealed, actually? That was nothing on him. I don't have any vision of him. So, I guess, well, either way, he did get hit by that. And they do have Unicorn pushing that top lane. Everyone from AL grouped up very tight except for Mania. At a certain point, AL are going to need to use that wall, a replica. Won't really do too much. I mean, I guess taking solo would be nice, and Biz would be pretty nice as well. The gyrocopter would do some pretty heavy damage. Solo, not so much. Really, the other heroes not going to be too useful. You're not going to get a Panda Illusion either, since it's going to be in a split form, most likely. But yeah, the wall will definitely help AL's team fight, and really that's the only sort of team fight that they have, whereas Rox.Kis have everything. They have split, they have call down, they have Nature's Prophet ultimate, they have the hook shot to initiate, as well as whatever Rubik could manage to get his hands on. So if AL take a really skirmishy game from here on out, then they should be fine moving forward. However, if Rox.Kis could, group up and really force fights as a group, then AL are going to be in a little bit more trouble, because that's really when Slark is the weakest, when you could hit him down with just AoE, just fling it around. Don't give him a chance to peel off from those fights. That is when Slark really shows his his weakness of the low HP pool really comes and shines through, which is not what you want to have if you're Slark. You want to have fights where you could cast Pounce multiple times with a low cooldown, get the Shadow Dance a couple times, disengage, get a little bit more HP from the Shadow Dance, come back to the fight, drink your bottle, stuff like that. And Rox.Kis, they have the heroes that would much rather just stick there and fight. They have the Brewmaster, which is pretty much the definition of a stick and fight hero. You jump in, you pop your Primal Split, and then you're good to go. You don't want to disengage from that, because every single second of that ultimate is so incredibly valuable. And while Miggle is definitely going to be hard to really lock down from the Rox.Kis side, they still will be able to use that really stick and kill fight to bring down everyone else from the AL side. Shadow Demon, Lina, both with Staff Wizardries, but not with their 4 staffs quite yet. Unicorn not incredibly mobile either, and even though they do have the Darkseer with the 4 staff, pretty much everyone else from the AL side is going to be vulnerable once Rox.Kis decide to have a full 5-on-5 engagement. One way to avoid this engagement, which is what we see AL doing right now, just split push. Force Rox.Kis to be separated by having at least one hero deal with the amount of creeps that are pushing down their waves. Not only is that going to give more time for Absolute Legends to get farm on the core heroes, such as the Lone Druid, who has completed his MKB now, that's going to mean that the push from Rox.Kis is going to be delayed by that much longer. I mean, Biz is on this bottom lane, will clear through the creep wave really, really quickly, Nature's Prophet ultimate helping that as well. But Rox.Kis is going to be delayed in any further pushing that they would otherwise want to have going right now. Having that split push will slow them down by quite a bit. And really, everyone is going to do their own thing. They're going to look towards some big items. Aghanim Scepter on the Brewmaster, Hex on Solo, which he almost does have, another like 800, 900 gold. Clockwork will probably look towards anything at this point. Bank Square, same thing. Unicorn is getting pretty damn big. Bear with 2,000 gold, MKB Armlet already in play. Probably will look towards a Hyperstone in just a little bit more. Slark, what is he at? He's at a BKB, completed 1,600 gold on him as well. But now we see Rox.Kis grouping up potentially for a little bit of a push. I mean, they should feel very confident in their team fight if they just sit down and lock everyone down. It would be difficult to get their hands on Slark, so it's really hard for Rox.Kis to get a team fight without, without having any casualties. But I do think they'll be able to at least take these tier 2 towers. They're holding strong into most of their tier 2 towers, have only lost the one in the bot lane. And every second they wait, Unicorn's getting more and more farm, and getting that farm faster than Biz is, which is kind of surprising, all things considered. No, that's experience per minute. Gold per minute, yeah, there you go. That's why it's surprising, because it's not true. Biz is more gold per minute. He is going to go for his butterfly. Not going to help him in the evasion versus the lone druid, but Slark has yet to pick up an MKB and probably be a long way off until he really even reaches a point where he could consider getting that item. Another 400 gold until he could get his Demon Edge, which might be the smartest choice for him, just to do that direct damage. Although a Basher would also not be too bad. If you miss a couple times, doesn't matter, as long as you get that gyrocopter stunned up. I'm sure AL would be more than happy to have that happen for them. Force Staff is coming up in the Shadow Demon, as should on the Lina. Actually done on the Lina, so well done, Miracle. But we do see a little bit of a lull in this game. Both sides content to just farm up, possibly wait for this Roshan, which is going to happen in a little bit. Surprisingly enough, Rox.Kis, even though they do have the Roshan there, not really willing to fight out a full 5-on-5 team fight or even try to go for any tier 2 towers. They're going to just spend the entirety of Roshan waiting and farming very safely. But I feel like this is a little bit of an opportunity wasted. They're going to smoke up. They're not going to find anyone. Perhaps they'll find Mania. Actually, they might find Mania. Got to get out of there. The ogres aren't worth it. And Yo's looking for a hook shot, leading the way. Yeah, Mania is going to be completely okay. Everything's going to be spotted out to be destroyed out by the Rox.Kis side. But Roshan, his Aegis is almost going to be reclaimed. And there it is, immediately reclaimed. And now Rox.Kis, that's going to be an immediate sign for them to fall back. They waited just a little bit too long to actually get that going. And, well, that's going to cost them a free Roshan Aegis. Completely not even close to being used. Now we see a retaliation smoke from everyone on AL with the exception of Miggle, who's packing around a double damage rune. If he could find someone quickly, he could really put the hurt on them, but there's really no one nearby. And yes, Slark is actually going to go for an MKB. So we will have that true hit. Go through that Brewmaster Haze, go through that Drunken Brawler, as well as the Butterfly. It's going to be inevitably up on the Gyrocopter. Actually, he could almost pick it up right now. But the person in trouble has got to be Solo. Here we go. Solo, don't go up there. Don't you go up there. Oh, Solo, well, True Sight, okay. There is no True Sight. If I click on Rise, no, there's no True Sight. So Solo is okay to go up there. And the tower, in the meantime, from Rox.Kis, they're going to take down their first tier 2 tower of the game. Dread's going to pick that one up. He's almost at his Aghanim Scepter already, packing around that point booster. Will have the other 1,000 gold pieces relatively shortly as well. Already does have 2 if he wants to purchase them up. Really, both teams just not doing too much at the moment. And at a certain point, I feel like AL are just going to be too strong. Slark with the BKB is already pretty damn strong, and they'll be even strong enough to tank up everything that Rox.Kis have to throw at them and still go through. And Brewmaster still has a while before he has hit his peak with the Aghanim Scepter level 3 ultimate. Once that happens, we'll see if they can really take it to AL. But as long as AL take these smart fights, avoid the 5-on-5 fights, which is actually what they're positioning themselves for right now, then they'll be able to do fine. These 5-on fights mean that the bear is going to take a lot of damage. Might be forced to resummon on Unicorn. He's going to keep it alive for now and probably will send it back to the base, actually. I feel like that'll be the smartest thing for him to do. Don't want to burn and resummon when you don't have to this late in the game. Early on, you could definitely resummon it because you're probably going to be safer, but yeah, Miguel's still hunting around for whoever he could find, but really, both teams a little bit cautious to commit to a fight right now. Pushing from either team, well, pushing from AL especially, is incredibly dangerous with Demolish on the bear. MKB, almost the entire Assault Cuirass up on him. Will tear through tier 2 towers. Rox.Kis, their pushing is not as strong. They will have a lot of stuff in the front lines with the Treants, but really that's pretty much it for them, aside from creep clearing from the Gyrocopter, who's actually instead gone for a little bit of a detour from his Butterfly. Is going to pick up a Helm of the Dominator instead. So he's not going to go for that invasion. Feels comfortable enough with his attack to go for a more pure defensive item. It will help him survive against this onslaught of Absolute Legends, but again, that's going to provide a little bit more of a window of opportunity for Slark to get his MKB up before the Butterfly is even up. And if Slark can get that MKB before the Butterfly, then that means the Butterfly has provided no advantage whatsoever to the Gyrocopter. He could dodge the Shadow Demon, dodge the Darkseer, dodge Lina. Big whoop, not going to matter at all in the future. But he's not even going to have that small timing window where he has the butterfly and Slark has no MKB, so the evasion will actually help him out. AL's Slark should be farming fast enough to get the MKB by the time Biz gets the butterfly. It's going to be a little bit close because Rox.Kis is still farming incredibly quickly. Yeah, Solo starting to really fulfill his role as a, as a real big farmer, as a damage dealer even. But Slark is the type of hero who won't really care how much damage Solo is doing because you need to be able to hit things as Nature Prophet. And if you have something right in your face, it's really difficult to do so, especially if that thing is going to be bashing you, which I'm sure Miguel is going to look for in the future. Nature Prophet, what he does is stay at the distance, use the Sprout, use the Hex, and just poke things. And Miguel is great at getting around, just as a Slark is great as a hero, at getting around that wall and making sure that whoever wants to sit in the back and poke things is going to have some sort of pressure. Especially with double damage rune. Right as Roshan spawns, Biz might be in a little bit of danger. Miguel looking for blood, possibly. Although Solo still in the bottom lane, putting pressure to that lane. AL, the next fight is definitely going to happen at Roshan. We'll see who has the upper edge here. The wall is going to be huge for AL, but that's pretty much it. Rox.Kis with the team fight advantage should have an easier time. They're going to go right in, as is Miguel. And Rox.Kis, they really have no idea that this is happening. Well, now they do. So, surprise. Miguel and the bear are in there, but really, Rox.Kis, they can't fight this, or they're at least unwilling to fight this. This is going to be a free Roshan going the way of AL. Miguel, once again, is going to take himself a double life. It's going to be enough gold so that he could purchase up the entirety of his MKB, which there it is. And now AL, are they going to be the ones to push aggressively with this Aegis? And Rox.Kis sat back on their hands and really didn't use that Aegis for anything except for farm, which is definitely not what you want to have happen if you do have an Aegis to the Immortal. You want to go be aggressive, and at least like try to use it up. I mean, what's the point of picking up an item if you never use it, right? That's pretty much the epitome of, that's the definition of waste. Slark right now is just going to clear off some of the creep waves, and we'll see if AL actually want to fight this. But just having this dangerous teamfight presence from AL means that they would definitely much rather have the fight where they get the picks and instead of and avoid the team fights, which is why they're probably not grouping up as 5 and doing death pushes. At least not fully committing to death pushes. They're waiting for someone to get out of position so that they could pounce on them and actually bring them down. Good luck trying to do that. Rox.Kis are managing their heroes very effectively. The heroes that are in vulnerable positions are heroes that really don't care about being picked off. Like Gyrocopter can pop his BKB and at least take 2 of them down the AL side, down before that he himself does go down. Nature Prophet has Shadowblade, has Hex, should be fine to get out of there as well. Is there any True Sight now? There's Sentry Wards. Is there any Dust? There's Sentry Wards and Dust. So Nature Prophet not fully secure. But AL, they're going to push out the top lane, whereas Rox.Kis is going to push down the mid lane. Looks like it should be an even tier 2 for tier 2 trade. But with the bear, actually AL could kill this and then come back in time for T. They're going to bring it down incredibly quickly, and AL, they're not done yet. They have the Aegis. They're going to brave the Rox.Kis team fight and go straight for the high ground. With the bear on the high ground, they'll be able to siege it down. They don't have Mania's Lifestealer this time. However, I think they should be okay to put a lot of damage on this tower. Fortification is going to be burned here. And the bear now getting it sprouted up. Quick shot in, gonna catch 2. Cog's gonna catch 2 as well. Just gonna jump straight in. For's entangled, gonna get entangled immediately. The bear goes down. Actually, Unicorn needs to resummon that one immediately. Miguel popping his BKB, gonna take down 1, gonna take down 2, gonna take down 3. Lifts up is in the air is the bear. Unicorn has summoned that, but he's not being able to use it. Miguel is trying to get away to do a little bit of healing with the Shadow Dance. He will eventually burn the Aegis. Unicorn trying to go for Biz in the meantime. There is no entangle. The wall is up, but it's not really doing that much work. Miguel gonna rejoin the fight. Dread walks straight through the wall, and he's gonna die to Unicorn as well as Miguel. Biz now just has to face up against the Slark as well as the Lone Druid. Gonna be forced to run away. Solo is still alive in this fight, has retired to the back of the trees, and actually Dread is going to be one to teleport back in, but the tier 3 tower is going to be dropped from AL, who have only lost the Lina throughout the entirety of this. Miguel has lost the Aegis as well, but Mania Unicorn both dropping very low, but managing to survive, and Solo going to pick a fight that he honestly cannot afford to fight right now. I don't know what he was thinking there. He might pick off Rise, going to force staff himself away. Flat Cannon will do him in before he gets disruption off, but that's going to cost Rox.Kis both Biz as well as Solo. Vangscore, Dread, and Yol trying to make something happen, but Miguel will be able to regenerate shortly after this. The vision is pretty well spread by Rox.Kis. However, Miguel with the gem is going to make sure that does not stand. And in the end, AL take a much better fight, lose a couple of supports. No big deal. Lone Druid stayed alive throughout the entirety of that. Slark lost his Aegis and died, which is really no big deal for him. He's going to go for an Abyssal Blade straight up. unless that's a Rapier or a Radiance, which I doubt. It's probably going to be the split. Wouldn't see him getting anything else. And hell, even Mania, I'm pretty sure survived. Yeah, he didn't die either. So Rox.Kis, their damage really spread, at least not hitting enough heroes that they really want to, and that really is due to the fact that Gyrocopter is not going for a whole bunch of damage items. I mean, Helmet of Dominator Yasha does give damage, as does BKB, but it's not exactly the likes of an MKB or an MKB or an Assault Cuirass, which were all up during that last fight. AL, they're going to take down the top melee, which is exactly what they did last game. Dread going to jump right in for a clap, hook shot in, once again going to catch 2, but y'all taking so much damage. Miracle going to take 2 misses from the call down, is going to drop before he launches his Laguna Blade, but the wall is up though, forcing Rox.Kis to not go past that line. Dread going to walk past that line. The bear is going to be safe to fall right on out, but the Raxes have been taken. AL taking 2 sets of melee Raxes, and they will get out safe and sound. Biz still giving chase, Missile going to launch, but there's no real follow-up for this one. Missile is on the bear, actually. They're going to turn this around, do a little bit of damage to Biz, actually a lot of damage to Biz with those illusions of his, bring him down very low. That's a good like 300 damage that they did right there. And Rox.Kis, they will survive all of them this time. That is without their split. They do now have their split. But the thing is, AL, they don't really need their huge ultimates to fight. Yes, the wall helps. The Laguna Blade wasn't even casted there, and really everything else from AL, their ultimates aren't on a long cooldown, whereas Rox.Kis, they really need this Brewmaster split. They need to send up this bear into the air, because every single second where this bear isn't in the air, it means that they don't have to deal with his bashes, don't have to deal with the entangles, and really, Unicorn at that point is a pretty useless hero. It's just a really tanky thing that you can pretty much ignore. So they really need that split in order to get a good team fight going, which means that Rox.Kis are going to be put on a sort of clock. That means that they can only fight during X amount of seconds, and if it's not that X amount of seconds, they're probably going to lose that fight. That's going to work very well for AL, who, although they do need the wall 100-second cooldown is very manageable as opposed to the 160-second cooldown. That additional minute is going to be killer, because that means that AL have that 1 minute window where everything that they have is up, and Rox.Kis don't have their key spell. And AL, they're going to make good on that after taking down 2 sets of melee Raxes. They're possibly going to look for the third. It's worked for them so far in the past, with the Demolish on the bear, as well as so much damage, hitting for almost 250 a pop without that armor differential factored in as well. They're going to slow push down this mid lane, and Rox.Kis, are they going to look for initiation halfway through? And Yol's hook shots have been pretty good. They've been catching 2 heroes pretty much every single time. But it's just not enough. There's not enough follow-up. Dread gonna be spotted out by Miggle. He's gonna blink forward for a clap as well as a split. Miggle gonna pop his BKB and instantly go for Fang score. 1 hits, 2 hits, 3 hits. He's dead. Bear sent up into the air once again. Unicorn getting hit by a little bit by Solo, but he's really so tanky at this point. Miggle gonna try to go toe-to-toe with Biz. Gonna be forced to leap away. Bear once again sent up into the air. Solo trying to get killed by Miggle. He will just barely not have enough, actually. Miggle gonna get out of there with the Shadow Dance. Where's the gem? Sentry Wards are down, but Miggle's still on the chase with that leap out. He should be fine. And AL lose their 2 supports in exchange for just 1, this time the fight going the way of Rox.Kis. But again, that is with the split being used. AL, their wall was used, but 70 seconds, so they're good to go. Again, Biz, though, showing that he is more than enough with the Divine Rapier. That's why the Slark was dying so damn quickly. I thought something was a little bit weird. The Divine Rapier up on Rox.Kis, and ordinarily I would say Rox.Kis won that fight, and they should be fine. But now, that with a Divine Rapier, that completely changes things. They definitely still won that fight, but they didn't win the fight as much with that Divine Rapier. With the Divine Rapier, that is a very Hail Mary type of move. You want to get a complete team wipe once you buy that item. And only getting 2 supports, that's not as big a win for Rox.Kis as they really needed right now. They really needed to at least bring down the Slark, but that didn't happen. Now Slark is going to have a little bit more time to get a little bit more farm and get that Basher up. And that means that even though Biz may have his BKB, he still will be vulnerable to stuns. He will have that Divine Rapier to defend this bottom lane push. But at this point, AL, they definitely know about it. That means they're going to be forced to, play their cards very carefully. Wow, what the hell happened to Miracle's hands? Was Lina always like that, or is that just the smoke? I don't know. Mania fishing for a vacuum. And Rox.Kis with a Divine Rapier Gyrocopter. As I said before, a Hail Mary. They really expected more out of that fight, and well, they're going to have another shot right now, but Mania has his wall up, split, not up on the Brewmaster, 40 seconds. Bear on the front line is going to demolish this tower very shortly, will trade its life for it. Desolator helping out. And Yol on the sidelines looking for a hook shot in. In the meantime, top lane is pushing in, mid lane is pushing in as well. And AL gonna play it slow, gonna play it steady, gonna possibly look for Roshan in a minute or two, but in the meantime, they will constantly put pressure on this bottom lane. Tower has already dropped, and they do have a bear. They will probably wait for it to be resummoned before they could actually go in and try to crack the base once more. But the top lane, the Raxes will survive at least for now. They will bring down the siege creep, so everything is dead, shredded down by Biz. No ranged Rax is gonna die just yet, but AL still with a commanding lead in this game. Golden experience especially showing that lead, but really it's the creep momentum that's saying it all. Every single time it's pushed out, it's going to go right back into the Rox.Kis base, and that's what you get when you have two Raxes in. They have the pressure, they have the inherent map control that you get by getting those two Raxes. That means they have easy access to the Roshan pit, that means they have easy access to the Ancients, as well as the entirety of the jungle to farm. So AL, they're going to get their Basher really quickly for the Slark, which is going to form into that Abyssal Blade. That means the Divine Rapier is no longer a secure pickup from Biz. He's not able to sit there and really just move into the enemy side as he just sits there in the BKB and is completely safe. He has to deal with an Abyssal Blade Slark, which is not doing as much damage as the Divine Rapier Gyrocopter, still doing more than enough damage to a single target to actually bring him down, even through the BKB, especially when combined with the stun. So Roshan is going to revive in just a little bit. AL, they know exactly where Rox.Kis are though, because there is no one defending this. If there was someone defending this, then, well, that would clearly mean that Rox.Kis are not in the Roshan pit, but that's going to make them lose at least one ranged Rax. It's going to be a second one. Let's see if Biz can take down this Roshan. A Divine Rapier, Dr. Aegis would be huge right now, but looks like AL, they're just going to use Roshan as bait. They're going to go straight for the Raxes. Yo, going to get hook shot in onto Mania. Darkseer taking a whole lot of damage there. Biz sitting there with the BKB up, with the Divine Rapier doing a lot of damage, but he will not be able to bring anyone down. He will, in the end, bring down Unicorn, but that's about it in exchange for 2 ranged Raxes, 3 ranged Raxes. In fact, everyone else from AL looking to get on out of there. Split has been used. Miracle going to get out of there with his life, and looks like Fry is going to do the exact same, unless he bought back. I don't think he did. Mania, I don't know if he's going to land in Sprout. He will land in Sprout. The Divine Rapier will kill him off. Biz gets a double kill. But really, there's only one melee Rax left. A Divine Rapier Gyrocopter can hold Mega Creeps, but he cannot hold Mega Creeps plus an entire army of heroes. And Roshan now, Biz, going to try to attempt this one more time, but the bear is right on top of him. If he gets entangled, this could be the doom of him. There's the stun, and Biz is going to lose the Divine Rapier. Miggle, who's going to pick it up? I don't know who's going to pick it up. Where is it? Where's the Divine Rapier? Either way, it looks like it's on the bear. It is actually on Slark, and that is something that Rox.Kis do not want to see. So now Slark is going to go straight to the Roshan pit, take the Doctor. Aegis combination. Oh, well, solo. First kill solo. He's going to buy back. Everyone buying back Rox.Kis. They know that they have to kill off this Slark, and the only chance is to take a fight in the Roshan pit, but without Split, good luck ever having that happen. Miggle is going to get the famed Dr. Aegis combo, and that is going to be that. I mean, with the Divine Rapier Aegis on Slark, there's no way to kill this guy off, especially when Biz burns his BKB simply to escape. Dread's going to come in with the clap, but it's not going to help him enough. It's a good Sprout holding Unicorn out of place, but his bear is still in the middle of the fight. Hookshot in is going to hopefully save Bank Score, but it's not going to be enough. Yol is going to be trapped in the cogs, surrounded by everyone. Laguna Blade going to cap him off, and everyone from Rox.Kis died, so they're going to call GG. 46 minutes into the game, and the Hail Mary of the Divine Rapier Gyrocopter is unfortunately not enough for Rox.Kis to take this win over AL. So Absolute Legends, despite being the underdogs, they are going to pull this victory off over Rox.Kis and continue on in the winners bracket. So thanks for watching, guys. If you are a local to the channel, then hope you stick around, like, comment, subscribe as as per usual. If you came here from Quantic Pros, the first game that I casted, which is on their channel, that I hope you stick around for future games. Won't be casting all the games from the qualifiers, just ones that tickle my fancy. They have to be best of 3s, I think, so not gonna have to deal with any anti-spoilers, which is very nice. But that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. GG. GG!